Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Explain AI. This is session zero of Introduction to Programming with Python, and this is session zero because after this we will be starting our course for learning Python from basics to advanced. And the sole purpose of this video is to answer your questions like should I learn Python, or even should I learn programming or not? Is Python relevant in this era? And all of these questions and questions like these will be answered using this video. So watch till the end, and if you like this video, then we can move on to learn the Python in next session. Okay, so the agenda of this video will be we will be looking into the programming, why we do programming and why we should do programming, then why be a programmer. Okay, and then we will be looking into what are the code, program or softwares. Then we will be looking into the history of Python, why we should use Python, what is the downside of it, who is using Python, and lastly what can I do after learning Python. Okay, let's begin. Why program? Okay, why we should program? Once Steve Jobs said everyone should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. Because programming is a set of instructions. In programming, you will teach computer how to learn how to do things using the set of instructions you will provide him. So after learning program, you will be master in structuring your thinking, structuring your thoughts, and explaining your thoughts to the other person in front of you. Okay, so I would say everyone should learn programming. Computers are built for only one purpose, which is to do things for us. Okay, and computers are always want to be helpful to us, but the problem is it doesn't understand our language. Okay, we should speak in their language in order to describe what we want them to do it for us, right? This is for programmers, but for users it is pretty easy because some programmers already put some different programs, and by program essentially instructions in computer languages, right? And we build all sort of programs and put it into the computer in operating systems, and user just have to pick the one he wants to use, right? For user it's pretty simple. Like for this presentation I use PowerPoint presentation to create this whole presentation, right? So I'm the user of PowerPoint presentation, I just click on the icon, used it. But for the programmer of PowerPoint presentation, it was different. It was to tell computer how to behave, how to do things in a structured manner, right? Moving on, programmers anticipate needs. Like I told you in the previous section, the programmer in the past find that there is a need of a PowerPoint presentation, and he created one, right? Similar things the programmers will do. They will do their day-to-day chores, and then they feel that, oh, this task can be done by computer, this task is repetitive, we can do it using computers, and they will write a program for that task and use it, right? They just find opportunities to create programs, right? Like in iPhone application, there is a market of iPhone applications, right? And iPhone applications have over 36.6 billion of downloads. People make the program for the iPhone applications for others so that their life become easy, right? Programmers have left their jobs and they develop iPhone applications, right? Because they are paid off. The more population uses those applications, the more they earn, right? Programmers know the way of programming because programmers know how to make computer do the things for them, right? Moving forward, why be a programmer in this age or any age, right? In the first slide I told you why to be a programmer, why to learn program, to think more in a structured way, to explain your thoughts to the other one in a clear way. But there is more. The first thing is to do some task using computer. So the programmer will find a task which is repetitive, he will make a program out of it and then use it himself. Here the user and the programmer is the same person, right? Then next, produce something for others. We can produce something for others, like iPhone applications, right? And not for others, eventually we can also use it, right? And mostly this kind of things are done in programming job. The jobs will have a team, and the whole team will be working on a single program or single software. You will be creating this for others, that the whole world can use it, right? And then third, the most important in this era is future proof life and innovation, the thinking of innovation. Okay, to be honest, everything in every domain and every discipline is already done, right? We are far ahead from our origins, and we did most of the things we have found and innovate, right? But the thing is, here in this era, we need to join two different domains and create our new thing. We can innovate there, and to join, we must know technology, we must know program, we must be a programmer, so that we can join two different domains and create a new thing. And that's how you will ensure you have a future proof life. Okay, that's important. Moving forward, what are code, program, or software, right? You will often heard of these three terms, right? Code, program, or software. What are those three terms, right? The above three words are nothing but sequence of instructions in computer language, but the main difference is in the scope, right? The code, or often said as source code, refers to the human readable instruction written in a specific programming language like Python. It is the basic textual component of all softwares. Let's take the example again of PowerPoint presentation. The code behind PowerPoint presentation, the basic thing of PowerPoint presentation is a textual component, set of instructions in Python or other language like Go or something, right? Then we come up to the program. Program is a specific single set of instructions, right? Or a file designed to accomplish a particular function or a task. Okay, so PowerPoint presentation have some features like presenting the PowerPoint presentation, like right now I am doing using F5 key, right? And we can import images, we can write text, we can change the color, add backgrounds, right? All of those things are different programs, different set of features, and each feature is a program, is a file, most likely a file, right? And this is the scope. A code can be a single line, but a program is a file or bunch of code, right, which solves a purpose. And then we come up to the software is complete functional collection of programs that work together to perform well defined functions for the users. The software is a whole PowerPoint presentation which uses all these programs, all these features, so that it will create the whole thing. All right, now you know the difference and the common things between code, program, and software. Moving forward, we will look into more aspects. This is only the scope, right? More aspects are, as I say, scope, right? And then we have role. The basic building block and the raw instructions is code. The component of software designed for a particular function, or we can say a feature of the software, is program. The complete product that user interact with is the software. What is the development phase? Okay, in code we focus on writing the syntax. What is syntax? Syntax is set of rules that programming language have. So we focus on writing the programming language, writing our instructions in that language. Okay, converting our thoughts into that programming language. Then we have program. In program we focus on designing the algorithms and solving problems. Okay, for building a feature we will focus on what the feature will do, and we will creating our algorithms or using the existing algorithms to make that thing done. Okay, moving forward to the software development has an entire pipeline. Okay, it it has a development cycle starting from planning, testing, maintaining, upgrading, and all of those things, right? The example of code is a Python function to validate an email address is a code. A script to automate a repetitive task is a program, right? And a web browser, a video game, an operating system, or PowerPoint presentation is a software. Now you know the complete picture of code, program, and software. Okay, this is a program for humans. Till now, we understand that program is a set of instructions for computers so that it can perform a task, right? We also follow some of the program, okay, and this is an example of program for a human. Let's see. So this is a video where we learn to dance, okay. So dancing is kind of programming, okay, for humans. So
Just
like
taking
this.
it out on one,
One,
two, turn the hand three, and four.
okay, so kind of this we will be telling the Python to do step by step things. When we click run, you will do the things like step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on. This is how we will be doing the programming, okay. You can learn how to dance. This is history of Python. Till now we have learned what is programming. Now we are moving to the Python. The Python is a high level language. What is a high level language? There are three level of languages: low level language, mid level language, and high level language. The low level languages are languages which are easy to understand for computers but hard to understand for humans. The mid level are easy, I mean mid for both computers and humans, and high level languages are easier for humans but difficult for a computer. And Python is a high level language, so it is easy for us but difficult for the computer to understand. It is a general purpose programming language and which is known for simplicity and readability. Readability is here that we can read it clearly or understand it more easily, right? And what is general purpose? So every language has its purpose. Java is for applications, C++ is for operating systems and more softwares, right? But Python can do all of those things and more of those things. So it is a general purpose programming languages, and the Python was created in 1989 by Guido van Rossum at Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica in Netherlands. The first release or first version was 1991, right? And it all began like a hobby during the Christmas holidays, but eventually it became a huge success for Guido, right? The inspiration was ABC language. So there was ABC's language in past that is very useful for children or kids to teach programming, right? So the inspiration was ABC language, but with major improvements and fewer limitations. Regarding the name was inspired by Monty Python's Flying Circus, which is a BBC comedy series. This is how Gudon named this language, right? Because he wanted a short, unique, and little mysterious language. Weird guy. We come up to why people use Python, why you should use Python over any other language, because Python's software quality is much more higher than other softwares because it is readable, right? Because it is high level language and it is reusable. We can reuse that, we can maintain that because it is readable, right? Readability and maintenance is very easy. And then we have OOPS, which is object oriented programming, which makes the maintenance and reusability much more easier. We will get to know about OOPS in further classes. Then moving forward, the Python is productive because Python is a dynamic data typing language. What do you mean by dynamic data typing? That Python is intelligent and know what the data is about, what type of the data you are feeding it. Okay, we will know about it in future. Regarding productivity, the Python code is one third or one fifth of the code size of other languages like C++ or C, right? So lesser the code is more the productivity because we need to write less. Okay, we can debug fast and also have to debug less. So this is about productivity. Then we have portability. So program written in Python can be run on Windows, Linux, and Macs. We can port the same Python program into different operating system and it will work, right? Then we have support library. So Python supports library. What are library are pre-written programs which are free for public use, right? Some programmer in the past written some pre-written programs, right? And we can use that program in our program. So it makes lot of things easy, because most of the things are already built out there and you can use them, right? You can build your own library as well. That is possible. Then moving forward, we have integration. So Python can be invoked from C and C++, and we can also use C and C++ libraries inside Python. Python can be integrated by .NET and Java and other languages, right? So at the time Python was released, that time most of the softwares were built using C, C++, Java and .NET, right? And Python was just add on to that. So at that time also, the most of the programmers started using the Python. Today everyone is using Python, right? Then we have universality, right? So Python is a general purpose programming language, and that's why Python can be used anywhere. So we can make anything and do anything using Python, and that's why you should use Python over other languages, right? What is the downside then? These are six, we can say, advantage, but there is one downside of Python, which is execution speed. As you know, Python is a high level language. It is easy for us but difficult for computers. So computer takes more time to understand Python and execute Python, okay? So it is slower than C or C++ or Java and other languages, right? But we can use PyPy to compile and speed up by 10x or 100x of the same program execution, right? So what PyPy does is PyPy translate the whole language into a lower language or mid-level language, and then the computer can understand it very easily, right? So there is technically a downside, but we can overcome through it, okay? Moving forward, who is using Python? Most of the big companies are using Python. We can see Google, Raspberry Pi, YouTube, Netflix, IBM, and more. They are all using Python. If you want to know more about who is using Python, you can visit the success stories of Python. You can see application domains where which domains are using Python. You can see the user codes about Python and also the Wikipedia page. All the links will be available in the description, and you can see all of those if you want, okay? And the last thing is, what can I do after learning Python, right? Python is a general purpose language, and we can do most of the things out there, like automation, scripting, web development, and do data analytics and visualizing, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You can go into cyber security and networking, can develop games, and can develop graphic development, right? And then you can do research and scientific computing. Then you can also create applications for desktops and mobiles. You move into the cloud and DevOps and big data and much more, right? You can do all sort of things using Python. Programmers have already created many of the libraries which makes all of those things much more easier than other languages. Okay, so we completed our agenda, and this is about the video, right? And I am open to any of the questions. If you have any questions, you can comment down, and I hope that I will see you in the next session, where we will be starting learning Python from basic to advanced. We will cover all the modules and all the libraries you must know about Python, right? And I hope this video will answer most of your questions. What is programming, why you should learn programming in this era, what is Python, and what is advantage and disadvantages, also why you should learn Python in this era, right? Thank you for your time, and have a good day.